not even need Bauer's game for me.
Ahoy there, YouTube! I'm back again today for another game review. And today, very excited to check out Potions, a Wizard's Apprentice game from Discovery Games. This is for 2 to 4 players, ages 8 plus. It'll take, I don't know, about 20 to 30 minutes to play. And in Potions, this is a game in which you are going to have 4 dice in the middle of the table, which are the potion that you need to create. And you're going to have to put cards down in front of you that will match those 4 dice. And if you do that, then you're going to win some wizarding points. The first person to get to 5 wizarding points wins the game. Now, where it gets kind of interesting is this is actually a redoing of another game I reviewed pretty recently called Baristas, which was a broken, god-awful game with a terrible set of rules. It's ranked like 16,000 on Board Game Geek. It literally, from the rules, is an unplayable game. They took that game, they changed the theme, they improved the rules, but doesn't make it a good game. Let's open it up, and I'll tell you what I think. Alrighty then, we're going to take a look at what you're going to get inside of Potions. So first and foremost, we have a handy-dandy rule booklet. 4 pages, double-sided, just text, and overall, it's not particularly great. I mean, it's good enough to get you up and running, but then you're going to have questions, like 2, 3, 4 questions that are not answered in the rule sheet, and that's always really, really stinking annoying. So overall, not a well-done rule booklet, even though it will teach you, for the most part, how to play the game. So in Potions, what you're going to be doing is you're going to try to be the first person to get 5 of these potion tokens. If you get 5 of these tokens, you will win the game. How do you get the tokens? Well, you are going to have to make various different spells. So at the beginning of every round, you're going to roll all 4 of these dice. It says you should put them in order, but there is absolutely zero reason why you should put them in order, so don't worry about that. Next, what you're going to do is everyone's going to get 4 of these cards right here, and the cards will look like this. The cards will either have symbols in the top left corner that will match various different faces on the die, and these are ingredients that you need. So for instance, let's see if I can find one right here. That snake would match that guy right there. This would be matching that one. So just pretty much just match up the dice. And then there's also action cards, and you'll know they're action cards because they will have text. Insanely tiny text right there. Yeah, the text is super duper 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 small. But some of the cards will do various different things. This one is going to allow you to re-roll one of these die, which will hopefully help you and hinder your opponents. This one, Take, is going to allow you to take 1 card from another player, even if it's like a good card, which I'll show you in a second. You'll understand what a good card is. And this card is actually slightly broken because it messes up the number of cards that you'll have in your hand after you play it, but I'll explain that more in pros and cons. And then this card, which is everyone's favorite card, the Spilled Cauldron, will make you get rid of all of your cards. So all the things you've been working towards the entire round, well, they will all be gone. You'll draw 4 new fresh cards. But let's show you how the game is played, because it is very simple. So the first thing you're going to do when you first get your cards is you're going to lay down you may lay down any of your symbols that match out here. So I'll just go ahead and do that, and let's see. I have the Tooth of Dog, so I have that one, and then I also have Powder. So bam, I have half of what I need. I also have a Lizard's Leg, which is not going to help me, and Merlin's Roll, which could potentially help me. So on your turn, what are you going to do? First thing you always are going to do is you're going to draw a card. So I draw a card. It's a Spilled Cauldron. Great attack card. But for right now, I'm actually going to play this Merlin's Roll. So I would discard this and do the action on the card, which is to re-roll 1 die. And I want to re-roll this die right here because it has the green symbol that I need on there, and I actually got it. So now I'm pretty sure, since I played my action, my turn is over. It isn't completely clear, so I would not get to play this Lizard's Leg. I think once you do that, your turn's over. It's not explicitly clear. So then everybody else would go, they'd take their turns, and then it gets back to me. And what do? Well, I draw a card. When you draw a card, you should always have 5 cards in your hand, and when it's not your turn, you should always have 4 cards, 1, 2, 3, 4, in your hand. So I draw a card. It's a bat. I play this down here. Maybe somebody over here has, 2 cards or something. I don't like them. I play the Spilled Cauldron. So what's the Spilled Cauldron? Well, this person has to discard all 4 of their cards. Both their good cards they have face down, and the cards in their hands. So they discard everything, and they draw 4 new cards, and you've completely reset them for the round, which, as we all know, is super fun. Then from this point, it really is just, am I going to be lucky enough to draw the final ingredient? So on my turn, I draw a card. It's ointment. Doesn't help. Next turn comes to me. Draw a card. Is that what I need? That is what I need. Discard this. Hooray, I win the game. Well, not the game. Not the game, I should say. So now I've won the round. If you win the round, if you complete the entire potion, you're going to get yourself 2 of the tokens. Now, that's pretty much the thing. You're going to keep rinse, wash, repeat until you get to 5 points. The first person to get to 5 points, aka 5 tokens, is going to win the game. But now is the time to explain the extra rule in the game. There's one additional rule called an Apprentice Challenge. And how that works is, if you have at least 1 token in front of you, and you have to have a token, you can gamble that your token is going to beat at least one other person's thing. So let's just say that I have 2 cards down. I see this guy has 1, this guy has 1, and this guy has 0 over here. Well, let's pretend we're playing a 4-player game. So on my turn, I might say, you know what? This is a great time to lay down an Apprentice Challenge. So when you do that, you lay down, you discard, you just take your turn, but you say, I'm making an Apprentice Challenge. And now, everyone else, aside from you, is going to have 1 turn. So this person would take a turn, maybe they do this. This person would take a turn, maybe do that. This person would take a turn, and maybe they do this. So, I have 2 cards, 3 cards, 1 card. Now, in the Apprentice Challenge, you are gambling 1 of your victory points. That you are going to have a better potion than one other person. So I didn't beat this person over here. I didn't beat this person over here. But because I beat that person right there, I have earned myself 1 token, and the round is over. Now, if I would have lost, so let's say this guy would have put out 2 or 3 or just done the whole dang thing and did it all, then I would have lost 1 of my potions and I'd be down 1 point. So keep doing that until you get to 5 points, and that, in a nutshell, is how you're going to play Potions. Alrighty then, Potions, a wizarding apprentice game from Discovery Games. What are my final thoughts? Let's go over the pros, let's go over the cons. First, on the con side, game's not going to be for everybody for a variety of different reasons. 2 to 4 players, restricted player count. Also, it's best with 4. It's just a more interesting game with more players. With that being said, there's a lot more randomness in the game when you do get to the higher player counts, because people are going to be leaking, spilling cauldrons, people are going to be rolling the dice, all sorts of various different stuff like that. So, yin and yang, which one you want to take. Pick your poison. Continuing on with the cons, the rules are still not good rules by any stretch of the imagination. There's 2 or 3 rules where you're just like, I think this is how it's supposed to go. Not quite sure, so we're just going to play it like this. Like, it feels right. What I do is like, all right, yeah, I'm pretty sure this is what you're supposed to do. It feels right, but we're not sure. So, and one of the biggest culprits, and one of the biggest culprits was the original game, was there was also a take card in the original game, where you would literally take someone else's card. But the problem with the original game was the take card didn't tell you to draw a card for someone taking your card, which would mean you would have less cards, and it would be impossible to win the game if you ever got 2 cards taken away from you. Now, this game has fixed that by saying, oh, if someone takes your card, then you draw a card from the top of the deck, which is what we did in the original game to house rule it because it was broken. This one, however, doesn't take into consideration that when you take someone else's card, your hand size is now 5 as opposed to 4. So if you were to take 2 people's cards, your hand size would then go up to 6. And if you took 3, it'd go up to 7. And it doesn't contribute to that. It doesn't factor that in. And that's obviously not good, so we had to house rule that to make it so that you also have to discard another card after you play a take card. You draw somebody else's card, and there's just a couple things where you're just like, I'm not sure if we're playing this the correct way. Another con that I have in this game is there is a somewhat broken strategy that I figured out and I unleashed on the kids, which was actually kind of funny, where it doesn't explicitly say that you have to lay your cards down in front of you. It doesn't say, oh, you have when you have the matches. Just common sense would be like, all right, I'm going to put a match here, put a match here, put a match here, and once I get that 4th card, I'm going to have it. But that lets everyone else know that they should attack you. So what I figured out you could do is just, as soon as you get those matches, just hold them in your hand. Hold them in your hand. And what I actually did in my class, the kids were so annoyed by this, was I got all 4 of the cards on 1 turn. Where I'd been hoarding them and hoarding them and hoarding them, and I finally got the 4th card. And then I was just like, oh, discard the last card, I win the round. And they're like, what? You can't do that? I was like, what? Why can't I do that? And they're like, you can do that? And I was like, I guess. And then that kind of opened up the floodgates to no one playing any cards, which made it like, yeah, just made it even more random. Meh. I would house rule it to say you can't do that. As soon as you have it, you have to play it. But that's a your minds may vary kind of thing. And let's be honest, you're probably not going to be playing this game, right? I guess I shouldn't say that because I'm gonna get to the pros in a second. Any other cons that I have with the game? I'd like more variety in the cards, what they do. The spilled Cauldron cards are terrible. They're god awful. I don't know why anybody thought that was a good idea. You could be playing around for 5-10 minutes, and then someone just plays a spilled Cauldron on you, and your round is completely reset, and that's not fun. All the work that you put into getting those cards are gone. Also, completely random. You can draw good cards, you're going to win. You draw bad cards, you're not going to win. And there you go. But moving on to the pros, I don't know why. I don't understand it. The kids in my class hated baristas. They hated it. I hated it. We were all in agreement. This one, we are not all in agreement for because I think this is a mediocre game. I would rank it a 5. I don't think it does anything spectacular. And I think factored with the rule booklets not being complete, it's just not anything that I would ever want to play again. However, the kids in my class really enjoyed this game, which I do. I take serious consideration into that fact because this is a game aimed at them. This is a family weight game. This is a children's game. The kids in my class were playing this without me, and I was just watching them at certain points. So for that reason alone, I got to bump it up substantially because the kids really like this game. Like, really, really, really. They sat there and they played it for about 40 minutes by themselves one day while I was just doing paperwork. They were just like taking turns playing it and letting new kids come in when so like the person who got last place would get bumped out by someone who got that. And I don't understand it. But let's move on to the pros. It's easy to learn. It's easy to teach. It has nice custom dice. The Cauldron looks cool. The components overall are very nice. And I forgot to mention in the middle part, you also get this really nice felt bag with the potions on it. It's completely useless. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't hold anything. I'm really puzzled by it because here's the thing. There's a nice box insert as well. Like there's a nice custom box insert that holds all your cards, it holds all your tokens, it holds the dice, and it has each one of them has its own space to be held, and then they just threw in a bag for no particular reason. I'm not sure what the bag's supposed to hold, but it's a nice bag, so hey, whatever. And that's what I got. Easy to learn, easy to teach, does not say it's welcome, and the kids really liked it. The target demographic liked the game. Doesn't make it a good game. No, I don't think it's a good game, but the kids do think it's a good game, so in the end I'm going to give it a 6, because there you go. So, potions. Do you have kids? Then maybe it's a play with them and try it. Otherwise, this is a hard pass. This is not a game night game. This is not a gateway game. This is not a lightweight filler game. You're going to get frustrated somewhat with the rules. But that's what you got. That's Potions, a Wizard's Apprentice game. One of those rare games that I didn't like it. Well, you know what? That's not a rare thing. Anywho, if you enjoy what I'm doing, please feel free to click on that subscribe button down below. If you want to support the channel, click on that Amazon Associates link down below. Buy anything on Amazon for the same amazing, great prices that you know on Amazon, but it throws a couple pennies my way. It really does help support the channel. And in the comments below, let me know, what was the last game that you played with your kids that, if you have kids, or played with kids in general, that went over really, really stinking well with the kids, but you were like, I don't like this game. For me personally, you know what? I think I know why they like this game. And I think there's another game, I don't remember what it's called, Go to Jail or something like that. It was a Monopoly spin-off game. It wasn't a particularly good Monopoly spin-off game because it had wildly swingy, crazy action cards that did a whole variety of different things. And the kids really liked that game, and I could not stand that game, mostly because it was all just completely random, and you get certain cards, you can completely ruin somebody else's time. And I think that's what kids love. I think they like those really big cards that do lots of different stuff. And it makes sense to me now that I think about it. Like, I'm actually having like an epiphany right now. So most of the time when I play games with kids in my class, I don't take it easy on the kids. I never take it easy on the kids. And that's how I like to play, because I like to tell the kids, hey, if you beat me, you earned that win. Good for you. Good on you. That was all you. And I think having cards like that in games allows kids to have, somewhat of an even playing ground with adults, because the kids can play those cards and devastate the adults, and then boom, they're back in first place. So I think that might be why kids like those cards so much. Interesting. Let me know what you think about it in the comments below. I'm changing the question because I think that one's a more interesting question. And as always, thanks for your time, YouTube.